All we do is win. All we do is win. All we do is win. 530. What's up, y'all? Y'all know what time it is. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? All we do is win. All we do is win. All we do is win. 530. I gotta listen to it one more time. 530 scholars. 530. What time is it? 530. What time is it? 530. What time is it? 530. All we do is win. All we do is win. All we do is win. 530. All right, what's up, y'all? I got a quick one for y'all today. So today we're going to cover converting fractions to decimals. So if you have a child that's in the upper grades and they're bad with math, a lot of times it's because they have problems with fractions. So you see, we dedicate a lot of our tutorials to fractions here at the 530 Scholars. I'm Silas Green. I'm the founder of MIT Training, one of the co-founders of the 530 Scholars. The 530, if you haven't heard about us, the 530 stands for 5. We want to keep our kids in the top 5% of national test takers. So top 5% of students who take national assessments. And then 30 is the number that we want to reach for the ACT or 1400 SAT equivalent, because we want our kids to get that money to go to college. So we are not one of those programs that just push everybody has to go to college. We do push that everybody deserves the right to go to college, but if they go, we don't want them to be strapped with $200,000 worth of debt. So we want our kids to go to school for free. So you got to go, but you got to go the right way. All right, so that's what 530 stands for. That's what we do. So one of the ways we keep our kids ahead, man, is we make sure that they master fractions. So are y'all ready to beast out on fractions? If y'all ready to beast out on fractions, somebody say, yeah. All right, that's what I want to know. I want to know if y'all ready to beast out on fractions. So if y'all ready to beast out on fractions, somebody say, yeah. It's Y-A-Y-E-R, the Outcast version of the word yes. Look it up. It's in the dictionary. Not really, but I like to have fun with this. All right, so we are about to get this thing popping, 530 style. We're covering decimals today. All right, so we're converting decimals to fractions today, and that is the goal for the day. Let me go ahead and share my screen. We got a nice quick one for you today. All right, so today we are converting fractions to decimals. All right, so one of the things that we have to do before we convert the fractions to decimals is we have to understand fractions. All right, so let's talk about fractions. Fractions are equal parts of a whole. All right, so how many of you guys know that fractions aren't just parts of a whole, but they are equal parts of a whole? So I'm gonna let you guys marinate on that for a second. All right, so fractions are equal parts of a whole. Not just parts of a whole, they're equal parts of a whole. So if someone orders a pizza, then this is not your half. That's not half. That's not half. So we don't know what this is, right? So if anybody believes that this is half, then I want to split a pizza with you, All right, because we don't know what that is, right? But if those parts are equal, then we know that this is 1/2, and we know that this is 1/2. So that's one of the point. That's the point of fractions. So fractions and understanding fractions as an equal part of a whole helps you understand quantities and how much things are, right? So if you just say, let's split a pizza, the question is, how do you want to split it, right? So I'm from Chicago. So in Chicago, they want to do this to pizza, right? So they got to cut a piece in squares. And then people are like, I saved you some. And they want to save you the corners. So like, I saved you 4 slices of pizza, and you get home, and those are the 4 slices that are left over. And you are upset because literally, I don't know what you're supposed to do with these 4 slices of pizza. All right. So you guys know what's happened to you, right? You're supposed to get some pizza, and they save you those 4 slices. And immediately you understand that that's not a fraction. So if you are splitting pizza with your greedy friends, you want to make sure, first of all, they cut it into fractions so that everybody can get a slice. So if they save you 2 slices, you're like, give me these 2 or give me any 2, right? Because at least I know I'm going to get some pizza. All right. So if we understand it that way, then 1/2 is half of 1. It's half of a whole. That whole being 1. All right. So if we say, give me the whole thing, like if your coach says, give me your whole effort, what percent are they asking for? If they say, I want your whole effort, I want all your effort, I want everybody to give me what does your coach say? They're trying to make sure that everybody gives them all of their effort, all of their ability. What is your coach saying? I want you to give me blank percent. So what percent is all of your effort? That's what I want to know. So if you say, I want you to give me all your effort, what percentage is that? That's what I want to know. So I tell you what percentage is all of my effort. I want all your effort. I want everybody. All right. That is 100%. Thank you for keeping it 100 is what I want to say. All right. Thank you for keeping it 100. All right. So when somebody says keep it 100, that means everything. You give me everything. You're always true because that's 100%. All right. So if 1/2 is half of a whole, then what is half of 1? All right. So what is half of 1 whole? That equals 0.5. So we know that half of a whole is 0.5. We know half of $1 is 50 cents. All right, nothing to see there. So 1/2 equals 0.50 or 0.5, 5/10 or 5/100. That's how you say that number. Is either 5/10 or 5/100. Everybody's good? All right, so let's talk about a fourth. So 1/4 is a quarter. All right, so 1/4 is a quarter of a whole. All right, so whenever I want to get a math concept through to you guys, I talk about money. So somebody tell me what a quarter is worth. So what is 1/4? What is a quarter? Somebody tell me what a quarter is worth. All right, so a quarter is worth 25 cents, or you can write 0.25 or 25/100 is the correct way to say that number. So a quarter is worth 25. So how much is 2 quarters worth? So how much is 2 quarters worth? 2 quarters is worth how much? All right, 2 quarters is worth 50 cents. That's right. All right, so if I had 3 quarters, how much would that be worth? So I'm thinking 3 quarters is 1 quarter plus 2 quarters, if my math serves me correctly. So how much is 3 quarters? All right, 3 quarters is going to be 0.75 or 75%. And we know that 4 quarters is all of them. That's everything. So if I gave you 4 quarters, all 4 quarters, what did we say? Keep it 100. Give me everything. 4 quarters is 100. Right? It's 100 cents or $1. All right. So let's proceed. You guys are doing great, by the way. I miss you guys. All right. You guys are brilliant. All right. So what if I did 1/8? So I'm halving it each time. All right. So what if I did 1/8? So this is the first time that we actually have to do some long division to figure out this problem. So 1/8. So that's 1 divided by 8. So I'm going to say, what is 1 divided by 8? All right, so let's figure this out. So if we divided 1 by 8, we know that 8 cannot go into 1, so that's 0. And then we'll have to add a 0 and then put a decimal point. So 8 can go into 10 one time as 8. It's the remainder of 2. We need to bring down another 0. 8 can go into 20 twice as 16 with the remainder of 4. We're going to bring down another 0. And then 8 goes into 40 5 times with no remainder. So the answer is 1/8 is 0.125 or 125 thousandths. So you're like, man, Mr. Size, is there an easier way to figure that out? I'm like, sure is. 1/8 equals 1/4 times 1/2, which means you can take 25 cents and half it. So half of 25 cents or half of 25, or let's say 250 thousandths is 125 thousandths. All right. So we want to make sure that we are respecting our relationships and respecting our halving, because halving is huge in math. Doubling is huge. Halving is huge. So if we already know what 1/4 is, we can figure out what 1/8 is, because we're just going to do half of 1/4. Everybody understand that? All right. So 2/8 equals what? What does 2/8 equal? If 1/8 equals 0.125, here's where I said doubling was huge. What does 2/8 equal? So 2/8 would just be double 1/8. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down? All right, so 2/8 is double whatever 1/8 is. All right, so 2/8 is 0.250, because double 1 is 2, double 25 is 50. So 2/8 is 250 thousandths. All right, how's everybody doing? Is everybody feeling brilliant still? All right, so I would say that 3/8 is 1/8 plus 2/8. All right, so 3/8 is 1/8 plus 2/8. So I'll just add these. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and 25 plus 50 is 75. So 3/8 is going to be 300 and 75 thousandths. How's everybody doing? So today we're converting fractions to decimal. All right. 4/8. 4/8 is point. Whoa, 4/8 looks like 1/2 because 4 is half of 8. So I could add 3/8. Oh, I could add 2/8 and 2/8, which is double 2/8. Or I could add 1/8 and 3/8. Or I can just see that 4 is half of 8. So half is 0.5 or 5/10. 50 hundredths, or let's keep it in thousands. That'll be 500 thousandths. So how's everybody doing? Is everybody crushing it still? All right. So 4/8 is 500 thousandths. All right. What about 5/8? So 5/8 should be 1/8 plus 4/8. That's the easiest way to do that. So 1/8 plus 4/8. So 500 thousandths plus 125 thousandths is 625 thousandths. All right. How you guys doing? Are you crushing it out there? Are you representing? All right. So now we have 6/8. And what does 6/8 equal? Well, 6/8 is 3/8 double. Or you can do 2/8 plus 4/8, or you can reduce it. So anytime you have an even number, any fraction, let me go back a little bit. Any fraction with an even numerator and denominator can be halved. All right, so let's halve the 6, which is 3, half the 8, which is 4. So 3/4 we know is 750 thousandths. All right, so we get into dangerous territory because we're at 7/8. So what's the strategy for 7/8? Well, I know what 6/8 is. So 7/8 is 1/8 plus 6/8. So let's just add 1/8 to 6/8. So 750 plus 125 is 875. All right. And then 8/8, is everything. So that's going to be all of it. Keep it 100. All right. That's 100. All right. So I have something really, really cool to share with you guys. I want to talk to you today about the complements of numbers. All right, so we just did doubling numbers. So we did 1/2, we did 1/4, we did 1/8, and we figured out how to convert those to decimal. Now I want to talk about complementary numbers. All right, complements. So 5 and 20 are complementary numbers because 5 times 20 equals 100, and we're trying to keep it 100. All right, so anytime you have a number with a fraction with a denominator of 5, then you multiply the top or the numerator by 20. All right, so if you're going to convert this to fraction, 1/5 is 20% or 20 hundredths. All right. Everybody got that? So anytime you have a denominator of 5, you can multiply the top by 20, and that's how you get the percent or the decimal. All right, 2/5. Can somebody tell me what 20 times 2 is? So 20 times 2 equals 40. All right, so let's do 3/5. 3/5, 3 times 20 equals 60. All right, so if I were doing 4/5, I would have to do 4 times 20, which equals 80. And then if I did 5/5, then I would have to do the whole 100. Keep it 100. All right. Now, if I were doing 20ths, then I multiply the top times 5. So I'm going to multiply the numerator times 5 if I have a fraction with 20 on the bottom. All right. So 1/20th equals 5% or 5/100ths. All right, how you guys doing out there? Is it making sense? Are we rocking? All right. So 2/20ths, you just multiply the top by 5. That equals 10% or 10/100ths. Now, if I had something crazy like 8/20ths, then I still follow the rule, multiply the numerator by 5. So that's going to be 40. 8 times 5 is 40. So that's going to be 40% or 40/100ths. And then if I had something like 11/20ths, then I know I multiply the top by 5. So that's going to be 55/100ths. So whenever I have a 20 on the bottom, I multiply the top by 5. All right. So are you guys getting these strategies? All right. So if I asked you a question like, what is more, 2/5 or 9/20ths? What you want to do is you want to convert this fraction to decimal. That's the easiest way to do it because it's hard to simplify this fraction, or you could make this 8/20ths. But if I can quickly say this is 40 and this is 45, I can easily say with great confidence that 9/20ths is greater than 2/5. All right. What about this? What's greater, 4/5 or 7/8? All right. So which number is greater, 4/5 or 7/8? So sometimes we get asked questions like this. So we have to convert these to decimal. 4/5, you know, you multiply this times 20, right? So that's 80. 7/8. Uh-oh. We know that 1/8 equals 125 thousandths. We know that 8/8 equals 1,000. So we know that 1,000 minus 125 is 875. So now we could answer the question, which is bigger, and we would say 7/8 is bigger. All right, how you guys doing? Are you feeling these lessons? All right, so I want to give you one more compliment. All right, so if you are liking these lessons, make sure you share these with your friends. Don't keep them to yourself. All right. Don't be like those lessons are so good, I had to keep it to myself. No, that is not what we want you to do. We want you to share it with your friends. All right. So compliments 9 and 11. So I know you're saying 9 times 11 is not 100 because it's 99, but it's close enough. So here's the trick. So if the denominator is 9, multiply by 11 and repeat. So 1/9 is 0.111 repeated. 2/9 is double 1/9, obviously, but we could just multiply this by 11, 2, repeat. 3/9, 3 times 11 is 33, repeat. You guys seeing the trend here? 4/9 equals 4, repeat. 5/9 equals 5, repeat. 6/9, isn't this so sweet, equals 6, repeat. 7/9 equals 7, repeat. 8/9 equal 8, repeat. And 9/9 equals, it's 100. It's all of them. You thought I was going to say 9, repeat. Who thought I was going to say 9, repeat? Got him! Ha! Got him! All right. So 9/9 is all of them. It's 100. All right. So now we are going to do 11s. So 11s, if the denominator is 11, you're going to multiply the top by 9 and repeat. For instance, 1/11 is 0.9, repeat. So you're going to repeat the whole number over and over again. All right. 2/11 is going to be 2 times 9 is 18. And repeat. Mind blown. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Doris Campbell. Mind bliss known. All right. So 3/11 equals 27. Repeat. 4/11 equals 36. Repeat. Look how easy math is. Who would have thunk it? 5/11 equals 45. Repeat. 6/11 equals 54. Repeat. 7/11 equals 63. Repeat. 8/11 equals 8 times 9 is 72. And you're just going to repeat it. And then 9/11, 9 times 9 equals 81. And repeat it. And then 10/11 equals 90. Repeat. And 11/11 is all of them. It's 100. Keep it 100. All right. So that is how you convert fractions to decimals. So I have a question for you. What's greater, 9/11ths or 7/8? Which one is greater, 9/11 or 7/8? Which one is greater, 9/11 or 7/8? 9/11ths or 7/8? We're trying to see which is the larger number. All right, so if we say you got to multiply this times 9, it's going to be 8/1, repeat. And then this, we just said, was 8.875. So we're going to say 7/8 is the larger number. All right, new challenge. What's bigger, 7/11ths or let's see, 12/20ths? Which one is bigger, 7/11ths or 12/20ths? Which one is bigger? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my strategy. I'm going to multiply this by 9, so I know that's 63. Repeat, and I'm going to multiply this by 5. Decline. I got to call them back. Maybe they should be watching this. All right, so I got to multiply this by 5, so that's going to be 60. All right, so obviously 7/11 is the larger number. All right, so before I leave you, I'm going to show you one of my favorite games. So let's start off easy. So what we're doing is we're converting the fractions to decimal. So we're going to pick fractions and decimal. And then we're going to go ahead and play around. All right, so in this game, what we're going to do is math tappers equivalent. So we're going to pick a fraction. So I pick 1/4, and we're going to figure out what 1/4 is in decimal. All right, so what is 1/4 in decimal? Who knows what 1/4 is in decimal? It's going to be 25/100ths. I'm going to pick 2/5. We know that you multiply the top by 20. So that's going to be 4/10 or 40/100ths. I have 3/10. I know that's a tenth. So actually, tenths are funny because they're saying they're the same number fraction there in decimal. So 3/10 is really 3/10. All right. So I have 9/10. So I'll do all my tenths there easy. So I'm just looking for 9/10. It pays to call that number the right thing, right? Then you know what it is. I have 1/10. So I'm looking for 1/10. I have 7/10. So I'm looking for 7/10. I think that's all my tenths. So let's do my half. I have 1/2. And we said 1/2 is 50 cents, right? On a dollar, 50/100ths or 5/10. Let's do my fifths. They're easy. 1/5. You multiply the top times 20, so that's going to be 2/10 or 20/100ths. All right. I have a 3/5 here. I'm multiplying the top by 20, so that's going to be 60/10 or 60/100ths. I have 4/5. 4 times 20 is 80, so that's 80/100ths or 8/10ths. I have some 20ths. So 1 times 5 is 500s or 500s, right? 9 20ths. 9 times 5 is 45. So I'm looking for 4500s. 11 20ths. 11 times 5 is 55. Then I have 19 20ths. So 1 20th. So 20 20ths minus 1 20th is 95. 95 20ths. And then I have 3 4ths, which is 75. All right. So hope you guys had a great time. I had a great time. All right. So I just want to know one question. Well, I have a couple of questions, but the first question is, did you guys enjoy today? And did you learn a lot? Did you find a cool app, Math Tappers? I need to type that in the chat, Math Tappers, so you guys can go get it. I need to get a link or something, right? I'm always talking about these apps. All right, I just tell you about the apps because I love them. All right, so Math Tappers, go ahead and make sure that you get that app. All right, and practice your equivalents because we will have a tournament one day that includes it. But the next tournament is coming up next week, and it is a halving tournament. So we'll post the tournament in the link. We're gonna have a halving tournament as usual. We're giving away hundreds of dollars in Amazon gift certificates. So stay tuned for that. All right, and then I have a question. Does anybody know the time? Anybody have the time? Y'all want to hear one more time for the road? Like us on Facebook, YouTube, follow our channel, Instagram, follow us on Instagram, share it with your friends. Mamba out.